Thank you, Garima. And I would, on behalf of Gromo team and ICF, I would like to thank everyone to be here. Thank you so much for being here. Today's webinar is more designed to help you around your ICF exam because ICF exam has changed multiple times, right? At least 2 times in the last 2 years. So there are new things coming up, and there is a lot of well, there's a lot of clarity, yet there is some confusion. So we thought this could be a great service we can render to our community by presenting this webinar. And who is better than Carrie to come over and share her thoughts because she has been at the forefront of all that at ICF. So I'll pass it on to Carrie. Carrie, over to you. So coaches, what we are going to do is Carrie is going to present about ICF and the exam. And then last 15, 20, 25 minutes we'll have for Q&As, right? So if you have any questions, you can keep typing in the chat box or be ready with your questions. We'll try and answer as many as possible. Okay.
Indrajit will get the recording of this.
Yes, you will get the recording of this as well.
Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, Carrie, over to you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Indrajit and Garima and Indrani, Tuba, Dipti and Gail. I am delighted to be here with all of you, and thank you for tuning in at the end of your day. It is a real honor and pleasure to be able to begin my day with you. It's very early in the morning here in Kentucky in the United States, and I'm really pleased to be able to start my day with you all. So thank you for the introduction and for the opportunity to spend some time with you today, talking about something that I get very passionate and excited about, which is credentialing, but also, of course, the exams. And to Indrajit's point, there have been some changes in recent years to our exams that I think are great changes. It really increases the value of ICF Credential. So I'm very excited about that. And yet it's important to make sure that those changes are clearly communicated to our community of candidates and professional coaches. So I'm glad to be able to do that with you today. So I'm going to pull up my slides, and we've got a good bit of content to go through today. I'll start by talking a little bit about why it's important to hold a credential, and then we'll go into the exams itself. As Indrajit mentioned, I'm a representative of ICF Credentials and Standards, part of the ICF Global family of organizations. We manage and administer the credentials for ICF. And of course, we've got other parts of our system that provide membership, the accreditation of coaching education programs, thought leadership, research. We have a charitable foundation. We also have another part of our system that focuses specifically on coaching within organizations. I work with ICF Credentials and Standards, our certification body. And our mission is really to acknowledge and recognize and celebrate professional coaches who meet the highest standards of professional and ethical practice in coaching. So we do that. We really require a lot of ourselves. We're committed to delivering the highest standard of certification for professional coaches and to recognize and allow professional coaches who meet those standards to really shine in the marketplace. We feel that that's really important, not only for the coaching community, but also to the clients that coaches serve, so that they know when they invest their money in working with a coach, that they're making a wise investment by choosing an ICF credentialed coach. So I'd love to start off. I understand that many, if not nearly all of you, will are considering pursuing an ICF credential, whether the ACC or the PCC, and you are completing your education, mentoring, and preparing for the exam, and that's really exciting. But I'll invite you to take a couple of moments to chat in if there's something else that you are also looking to achieve within the next 12 months, or something about the credentialing process that you're really looking forward to achieving. Feel free to chat that into the chat for the next minute or so. And I always love hearing what the goals of coaches are, because they're always so inspiring. So we'll give you a second to do that.
Yeah, so that's a good idea, coaches. If you have any questions other than ICF credentialing exam, you can put it in the chat box now. We'll try and answer as many we can, or we can respond later. And of course, if you have questions related to ICF credentialing exam, you can also ask those, which I would request you to hold on, because maybe they'll get clarified or answered as Carrie explains the process. Those questions you can type in later.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much. As you're chatting those in, we'll continue to go through the slides, and as Indrajit mentioned, we'll answer any questions at the end of the session or afterward. So what is the value of ICF credentials? You know, it is really important for the advancement of the coaching profession, for the professionalism of the coaching profession, that we show the highest level of standards for education, for competence, for the ability of coaches to provide really excellent service to their clients. Coaching is not a centrally regulated profession, as many of you know. And so it's really important to be able to distinguish oneself as a credible, competent, proficient coach within this increasingly crowded marketplace where anyone can call themselves a coach. That credential really provides that credibility, not just for coach practitioners, but for their clients to be able to know that their coach met really high standards for education, for experience, for independent assessment, and that they are committed to ongoing professional development as a credential holder, which is really important. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. And that's one of the reasons that ICF credentials have become the most globally recognized certifications for coach practitioners. This commitment and adherence to the highest standards of coaching practice, but also the rigor of the credentialing process. So we hold ourselves as ICF credentials and standards, we hold ourselves to very high standards, just as we're holding professional coaches to high standards. So there are three real purposes for ICF credentials. We seek to do three primary things by offering and administering a really high quality certification process. We want to first recognize the achievement of professional coaches who meet those high standards in experience, education, mentor coaching, and independent assessment. We want to support their ongoing professional development through their credentialing and coaching journeys, through ongoing professional development after they've earned an ICF credential. And we want to demonstrate that credibility and value to coaching clients, whether those clients are independent clients or organizations looking to hire coaches for their employees. That's really important to us. That quality assurance to the client community is so important. And this is more important than ever before. I mean, credentials have been around through the ICF since 1998, but what we are seeing in recent years just adds to the purpose and mission that we seek to achieve, because coaching is really taking off as a career, as a service to clients. And because it's not centrally regulated, anybody can call themselves a coach. So there are, as I'm sure you have experienced, lots of individuals who don't have training, don't have education, don't have experience, who are now calling themselves a coach. Maybe yesterday they were, practicing in another field, and today they're calling themselves a coach. So it's really important that we're able to show that credibility. As you can see here on this slide, I mean, the global revenue from coaching is way up 60% just over the last year since 2019. And clients are seeking credentialed coaches. They want to see that their coach that they are investing their funds with has demonstrated their capacity through certification. So they're looking for credentials. And we're seeing that through the revenues that coaches earn as well, that are on average much higher for coaches with an ICF credential or other certification vis-a-vis those who do not have a certification. It really matters to clients as well. As I mentioned on the last slide, clients are looking for credential holders to work with as coaches. 85% in our global consumer awareness study of clients indicated that working with a coach with a credential is really important to them. And they're seeing greater levels of satisfaction among clients who work with a credentialed coach versus those clients who work with a non-credentialed coach. 92% of clients who worked with a credentialed coach had a very satisfying experience in their coaching engagement. And that's over 76% of clients who worked with a coach of any sort. And as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, it adds value for coach practitioners as well. Through our global coaching study, we found that coach practitioners with one or more credentials earn up to 25% higher average revenues from coaching than those without credentials. So there's a value proposition for practitioners as well. At the end of the day, however, committing yourself to that education and experience, that reflective practice that is so integral to the credentialing experience, and committing to ongoing professional development as a credential holder, that adds value more than anything else. Just as coaches are working with their clients to help them reach their highest potential, pursuing and maintaining an ICF credential allows coaches to do the very same, to pursue their highest form of potential as a coach practitioner. And there's nothing that can replace the value that brings to professionals. We hear it all the time from credential holders. ICF is really committed to supporting coaches wherever they may be on their coaching and career journey. That's why we offer 3 different levels of credentials, starting with the Associate Certified Coach. That's for a coach who is engaged in comprehensive education and has experience. So they're the practice coach. It requires 60 hours of education, 100 hours of experience, and of course, 10 hours of mentor coaching with a seasoned coach practitioner who has an ICF credential. The second credential that we offer is the Professional Certified Coach credential. That's for the experienced coach, one who has at least 125 hours of education, 500 hours of experience, and of course, 10 hours of mentor coaching. And then at the end of this spectrum is the Master Certified Coach. This is really for the expert coach who is engaged for many years as a coach practitioner as a primary focus of their work. 200 hours of education is required, 2,500 hours of experience is required. So it takes quite some time to accrue that level of experience, and 10 hours of mentor coaching with an MCC credentialed mentor coach. We also offer, for the first time ever, just in the last couple of years, we launched a new advanced certification in team coaching. And this acknowledges the professional achievements of those who work specifically with teams in their coaching practice. It does require a flagship or one of the 3 ICF credentials, ACC, PCC, or MCC, as a prerequisite, and then additional experience and training in team coaching practice. So we're excited to be able to offer that to coaches as well. As I mentioned earlier, ICF has been recognized as the global gold standard for professional coach certification through its ICF credentials. And we have quite a growing community of credential holders that we're really excited to see that development. Nearly 55,000 coach practitioners around the world hold one of the 3 ICF credentials.
Hello, Carrie, we cannot hear you. Can anybody hear her, or is it me?
No, I think she's stuck.
Yeah.
Just give me a minute.
Sure, no worries. Yeah, I think she's stuck, so she'll probably come back in a minute or so. Oh, she got logged out. Okay. This is interesting, by the way, the statistics. So many coaches globally. If we look at the total world, 55,000 coaches, I personally don't think it's too large a number. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I also think that it is too less a number.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hardly anything
Yeah.
percentage-wise. It's
So
nothing.
then that shows how much opportunity we have, how much market, because there's a huge market, right, out there.
But Indrajit, this is only ICF credentials. People will have various kinds of credentials.
I know, sir, but there are not many other bodies. ICF is by way the largest. So others all put together will not be even 10,000 or even 5,000 or 7,000 maybe. And most of the coaches who have other credentials, they will have ICF also.
Okay. Achha, interestingly, you may be knowing that there is another coaching forum. They also start calling themselves ICF and they call them India Coaching Forum or something.
That's not a forum, that's a training company, which is okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean,
Yeah.
though they keep calling them ICF, that's very unfortunate. Yeah.
Carrie, are you there?
I
Sorry.
think we
I'm
have Carrie
back. I
back.
apologize. I lost you all for a moment, but I'm back.
No worries. Over
We
to
can
you.
continue.
Yeah. So go on, please. Carry on.
Okay. In India in particular, we have 820 ACCs, 853 PCCs, about 88 MCCs, and 34 advanced certified team coaches. That's as of November the 1st. Those numbers change. So those numbers won't be the same in a week's time, but it's really exciting to see the growth of coaching and to see the growth in demand for high quality coaching around the world as well.
So, Carrie, I have a question here. Can I interrupt
Sure.
here for a minute?
Sure, of course.
When you say we have 820 ACCs, so those are the ACCs who are currently holding the credential, right? There may be people who got ACCs 2-3 years back and they didn't renew or they upgraded, or so they are not considered in this, right?
Correct. That's right. This is active credential holders. So those who have a current ICF credential in active status. Very good question. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks. That helps.
Yeah, of course. And coaches who earn a credential indicate there's so much value in a lot of different ways. I've put a couple of those elements here on this slide. It enhances their professional credibility. They're recognized by their peers as a competent coach. It helps to see themselves achieve global standards for practice and for ethical coaching, supports their professional and personal growth, and it's valued by clients. I've included here a QR code, and on this code, you can go hear from actual credential holders who earned an ICF credential on how it impacted them and their personal careers. So I encourage you to do that.
Thank you.
And now, I mentioned earlier the different requirements for each of the 3 levels of credentials. And at the end of the credentialing process for each of those credentials, the ACC, the PCC, and the MCC, there's an independent exam that's required for credential holders to pass. So I wanted to go through a little bit about our exams, talk a little bit about their format, in case you will be sitting for one of our exams coming up so that you're informed of what to expect. And so I'll go through 2 of our exams in the next few slides.
Carrie, just for your knowledge, 90% of the people here are going to be sitting for the exam in next 6 months or less.
Excellent. So this is well-timed information, and hopefully this will support you as you prepare for that exam experience. One thing I will mention as we get started is you'll hear ICF indicate that our exams are for coaches and by coaches. And what we mean by that is that coach practitioners who are ICF credential holders are involved at every step of the exam development process. So in terms of writing questions for the exam, reviewing the questions for an exam, helping to determine what is the passing score for an exam, coach practitioners are involved in every single step of that process and in pilot testing exams so that we know that they're performing adequately. So that's really important for us because we want to make sure that our exams adequately, validly, and accurately measure coaching knowledge and competence. So that's very important for us that we include coaches at every step of the way. Hundreds of coaches are involved in the development and maintenance of any of our exams. I'm very excited to share with you a little bit about our brand new ICF exam. This exam will launch next Monday, November the 18th. So it's not available today, but if you sign up if you are authorized for the ACC,
there is a sound issue. Am I the only one not?
To take the exam beginning next Monday, you will be able to take this brand new exam. It is designed specifically for ACC candidates at this stage of your career. So it is a knowledge exam that tests the basics on the ICF core competencies, ethics, and definition of coaching. And it's been pilot tested earlier this year with over 700 ACC candidates, and it did very well through our pilot test. So we're very excited about being able to bring this new exam for all ACC candidates beginning next week. Here I have a little bit about the content that is covered on the exam. This was determined by coach practitioners. As I mentioned earlier, coaches are involved in every step of the process, including defining what should be covered on the exam. And here you will see the content domains for the exam, 30% on ethics, 30% on the definition and boundaries of coaching, and 40% rather on coaching competencies, strategies, and techniques. So essentially the ICF core competencies. A little bit about the structure of this new exam. It is a 60 item exam for 90 minutes. Those 60 multiple choice knowledge items are delivered in 2 sections, and there's a 10-minute break in between. So you'll get half of the exam with 30 questions. You have a 10-minute break, and then you'll have the second half of the exam with 30 questions. Each of the items has a very brief stem and 4 response options, and there's only 1 correct option for each item. You'll see here on this slide a little bit of a breakdown of the time duration for the exam. 2 minutes for instructions, about 39 minutes for each of the sections, and that 10-minute break midway.
Okay, Kelly, I'm going to be on
a little bit more information about this exam. It is an exam, so it tests facts. So it tests a coach's knowledge and understanding of
I think we've lost her again.
Carrie's again stuck. Maybe she could hear us earlier also. Oh, she'll be back. No, but the fact that her screen is being shared, she's here. So this is her screen being shared.
Can the previous slide be shared again? The breakdown?
Yeah, no worries. So she will, she's managing it. This is her deck. So we'll have the recording shared with you people. And she'll be back in a minute. We'll ask her.
The exams will be online, or it will be through some centers?
Yeah. So we are going to answer those questions. So please let her finish her presentation, and then you can ask these questions. I think these questions will get addressed in the presentation itself. And I have some of the questions that might be relevant to you. I will ask in between.
Thank you. I apologize for the disruption. I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm back.
Yeah, which is good.
This exam is available in English and in 15 additional languages starting next week. So this gives an example of one of the types of exam questions that are on the ACC exam. You'll see very short prompt and 4 responses. There's 1 correct response, which is in bold. Item A, response option A. Now, let's talk a little bit about the ICF Credentialing Exam. This may be an exam that some of you may take initially, or it may be an exam that you'll take down the road as you pursue the PCC or the MCC credentials. This is a slightly different type of exam. We call it a situational judgment exam. And that means it's designed to test not just your knowledge of core competencies, code of ethics, and definitions of coaching, but your ability to apply the principles within those key resources in actual practice, in coaching practice. So it's more about the skills application that it measures. I'm including here the content domain for the ICF credentialing exam. It's essentially the core competencies, and they're almost equally represented on the exam. So you'll see between 12 and 13% of each competency in terms of its proportion of representation in exam questions on that exam.
Okay.
In terms of the
can I ask a question here? On the
yes, of course.
slide? So many of us has given a CK, which was the original exam. So in that it was mentioned that this question adheres to what kind of a competency. So would any such clue be there in the exams, whether it is the ACC exam or credentialing exam? No. No,
there's no indication of what competency each item is testing on, but there are clues within the credentialing exam. There are clues within the scenario that's presented what competency is being assessed.
Okay.
Great question.
Thank you.
In terms of the structure there are 78 items on the credentialing exam. It is a scenario that's presented, which is about 150 to 200 word scenario that describes an actual coaching situation written by coach practitioners. And then there are 4 response options that could be, any of the response options could be a plausible response to the given scenario. Candidates are asked to identify the best response of the 4 and the worst response of the 4 as aligned to the ICF core competencies. It's a 3-hour exam. It's delivered in 2 sections with a 10-minute break midway. So there you have the timing of the ICF credentialing exam. So it's a longer exam than this new ACC exam. It's what we call a situational judgment test, which I talked about just a second ago, but it's much more nuanced than a knowledge exam. It measures the ability of a coach practitioner to apply coaching principles and competencies in actual coaching situations. All of the response options are plausible. So any of them could potentially be a response to the scenario that's presented, but they differ in their levels of effectiveness. And that's based on ratings by many coach practitioners who rated the effectiveness of each of the response options to determine the best and the worst responses. It's more nuanced than a simple knowledge exam, but it's important for coach practitioners to be able to make those judgments as they are required to make those judgments every day in their practice. So for PCCs and MCCs in particular, it's really important that coaches are able to take competencies and apply them in actual scenarios that are dynamic and fluid, just as coaches have to do in their everyday practice. So I want to talk a little bit about our exam statistics from 2023. As you'll see on this chart, and this is available on our website, we report annually our exam statistics. Last year, we had just under 10,000 individual candidates sit for the ICF credentialing exam, and 75% of them passed on their first attempt. So they took the test one time, they passed, and they earned their credential. Additionally, 12% of all of those candidates passed on a subsequent attempt. So maybe it was their second or third attempt. Total, 87% of all candidates passed the exam and went on to earn their credential last year, which is really tremendous. I have here just a sample item that shows how the exam items are presented on the ICF credentialing exam. There at the top, you see that scenario that's provided, followed by the prompt, what should the coach do? That is the same prompt for every exam item on the ICF credentialing exam. You see the 4 potential responses listed there underneath. And there is a box for what is the best action, and there is a box for what is the worst action. Candidates drag and drop the best, their response to the best action over to the best action box, and they drag and drop their selection for the worst action to the worst action box. All right. So now that we have a little bit of information and overview on the format and structure of the exams, I wanted to provide a little bit of some strategies and tips to help you prepare for the exam, especially those of you who will be sitting for one of these exams in the next 6 months. So a couple of just high-level tips for preparing for the exam.
Sorry, Carrie, we lost you again. Okay, coaches, she must join back in a minute because her screen is still being shared. And in the meanwhile, I noticed that you guys are typing in questions in the chat box. Please do that because I'll ask all those questions one by one later. And we'll try and answer them.
Are there some number of attempts, maximum number of attempts that are allowed? Because we noticed that 75% cleared in the first attempt, 12% in the second attempt.
That's a good question. To my knowledge, there is no such limitation. 2-3 attempts are allowed. Yeah, at least. I mean, what I know of any person is that some of them I know of, they have only attempted once. So that is allowed.
Cleared it in the first attempt itself.
Yeah, mostly people clear in the first attempt. Just because this exam got changed, there was no examples earlier. So some people, when they tried a new exam, then they kind of had to reappear. But yeah, so they allow. I think they allow you if you reappear and you fail again, they'll allow you to do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll charge you something $175.
Yeah, obviously they'll charge us. Yeah. Thanks for that information.
Indrajit, a question for you. So, because when I wrote this exam, there was no best and worst. So there was one option. That's what you had to choose.
You did a CK. You cleared a CK exam, right?
Yes.
For renewal, you don't need an exam.
So for the basically renewal of PCC,
you don't need an exam.
Okay. So what is the process for renewal?
We can talk that later. It's not on agenda today.
Okay.
You can reach out to me or Garima and we can share with you. Okay. It's also on ICF website. We can speak about that. Okay. Sure. I see that.
I apologize for the disruption. I'm going to turn my video off in case that will help me stay connected through the rest of the presentation, if that's okay, Indrajit.
Yeah, perfectly fine. We are okay with your video on. If you go away, you can come back. We are happy either ways. Whatever works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you. So your education from Grow More Coaching is really going to help prepare you for our exams. So be sure to go back and review that. Also review the core competencies and code of ethics. Read and reread and reread the core competencies and the code of ethics. They are really the fundamental content source for both of our exams. So we really encourage you to do that. Think about your own practice. Think about some of the experiences that you've had working with clients. What came up? How did you respond? As you reflect back, were there different ways that you could have responded in that moment? And work with your mentor coach as well on those because they can help support you as you're reflecting and thinking about what might have been a different way to respond in that moment that could have been even more effective than how you responded, etc. And think through both, how core competencies can be demonstrated perhaps less effectively to help you prepare for the exam. I include here a number of different resources that we offer through the ICF. All of these are hyperlinked, and I'll share the slides so that you can have access to them as well. I'll send those to YouTube so that those can be distributed to participants. And so you'll be able to access all of these resources easily through the hyperlinks in the slide deck. But that includes the core competencies. We have a video series that walks through each of the core competencies that can be really helpful to those who are preparing for the exam. The code of ethics, similarly, as well as a video series on the code of ethics that can be helpful as you prepare for the exam. We have a number of sample items on our website that can be helpful both for the ACC exam as well as for the ICF Credentialing Exam. And we have a white paper on our website as well on when to refer a client to therapy, I really encourage you to take a look at that white paper. It can be very helpful to you as well when you're thinking about the boundaries of coaching and other professional practices. Finally, I will recommend that you take advantage of our exam tutorials that are available on the Pearson VUE website. Again, it's hyperlinked here in this slide deck. These exam tutorials allow you to see and play with sample items within the Pearson VUE exam platform itself. It's free of charge. You don't have to pay anything to take advantage of these exam tutorials, but it allows you to become familiar with the navigation and the features and the functionality of the Pearson VUE exam platform, as well as answer sample questions as they would be presented on the exam itself. So it's a nice tool, and that's free of charge. When you're thinking about your application to the ICF for your credential, there are a couple of really important tips to know that will help you be prepared for your exam appointment. First, check your ID. You will be asked for your name as it's listed on your government-issued ID. Please be sure to make sure that your name is correctly entered into your credential application, because that will be the name that is used to check your identification on exam day. So being really accurate there is important. ICF is committed to supporting candidates with disabilities through accommodations that are available for the exam. So if you require an accommodation to access the exam due to a disability or other qualifying condition, please make sure to note that on your credential application, and we can provide you with the appropriate documents and forms that you'll need to submit for that accommodation request. And then think about how you want to sit for the exam. ICF offers its exams both in person at Pearson VUE testing centers, and they are located throughout the world, over 5,000 testing centers throughout the world. We also offer the exams through Pearson OnView, which is a remote proctored testing service. It's really important to think through that decision, because it may impact the quality of your exam experience. When you are testing in a test center, you have the inconvenience of having to go somewhere, of course, but they have systems and computers set up for you to take the exam. They have professionals there to support you in taking the exam. When you're taking an exam online, just like today, where my connection has been disrupted a couple of times, that could take down your entire exam. So you want to be very thoughtful about how you want to take that exam to ensure that you have a positive exam experience. So when you're getting ready for your exam day, make sure you have your identification ready and take that with you. If you're going into a test center, you will be required, whether testing online or in person, to show that identification. So it's really important that you have that. I'm providing here a list of ICF FAQs and Pearson VUE FAQs as it relates to exams, so that you can look through all of the different frequently asked questions that may help you as you're preparing for the exam, as well as some videos here on what to expect on your exam day. So what should you expect if you're testing at a Pearson VUE testing center, and what should you expect if you're taking an exam online? Please check out these resources. It will help you make a really good decision about how you want to test. On your exam day, make sure that you're well rested. These are simple tips, but they really make an impact. They have a huge impact on your exam experience. Make sure that you're well rested. Get as much sleep the night before as you can. If you're going into a test center, please allow yourself ample time to get there. Or if you're logging in to take your test online, provide ample time to log in and get ready. We ask that you provide, or that you arrive at least 30 minutes in advance of your exam appointment for either testing modality, so that you can be prepared and get ready to take the exam. Again, make sure you have your government issued ID with you. because you will be required to show that as part of the check-in process. Make sure you read all of the instructions for the exam, as well as in the testing center, the rules and requirements for testing at that test center, or the rules and requirements for testing online. There are specific rules for testing online. And just take your time. Remember to breathe, focus, take the break midway through to help you rejuvenate and kind of refresh your mind and your body during the exam. Taking an exam can be a stressful experience, even in the best situations. So make sure you take that time to breathe and focus, and keep that coaching mindset with you on the exam day, because that will really help you and see you through. The final slide I have for you, and then I'm going to open up for questions and answers. If you are considering testing online, I have hyperlinked here a guide to testing online. This is from Pearson VUE. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of reading this guide, probably for online testing. It includes all of the technical requirements for online testing. And it's really important that you read through and are aware of these rules and requirements before you take the exam.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
Now
Thank you.
It's time for Q&A.
Yes. So we have a huge list of Q&As. Carrie, I'll request you to share the slides. We go back to the slides and then probably take some questions from there. Would that work for you? You're on mute. Okay. So, Garima, do you have the questions ready? Garima, are you there? Okay, cool.
Hey, Indrajit, I've just messaged you the questions that I have listed.
Okay. Well, these are only 2-3 questions, right?
I think there are 5 or 6.
Yeah, but I saw so many questions being asked in the chat box.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, but
anyways,
a lot of them are
got answered. Okay.
related to,
All right.
yeah.
So Carrie, one of the questions is that the resources that you've shared here in the deck, are they available to coaches who are not members also?
Correct. Yes. All of the resources that I've shared are available either on our website or on our page on the Pearson VUE website. So they're accessible to any coaches regardless of your membership status.
Okay. Can you go back, please? Few slides, one at a time. Okay. Carrie, we can't see your slides changing.
I think she got stuck.
Okay, no worries. She'll come back. Okay, this time she's stuck here. No. Okay. All right, she'll be back.
So before Carrie jumps in, I would just like to emphasize one point, that a lot of information is already present on the ICF website. So it is highly encouraged, just go and check the website, and the links that Carrie has shared. Of course, she'll be sharing the deck, and you already will be able to access those links. And otherwise also, ICF has provided the information on the website. Yeah, thank you.
Carrie, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can you move your slides up, please? Go one at a time. No.
While Carrie pulls this up, sorry to interrupt. Inder, I guess someone also asked the question which I also wanted to know, which is what's the difference between credentialing and certification? So
okay, so we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
Sure. So, Carrie, are you there? Back?
I'm here. Yeah.
Can you change the slides? Go up.
Yes.
Okay.
Which slide? Oh, right here?
Yeah, just one further. Keep going up one by one. I'll ask you questions there. Continue going up, please. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, one more. So these resources, are they all available to even non-members?
Yes. All
Okay,
of these
great.
resources are available on our website or on the Pearson VUE website on the ICF Credentials and Standards page on the Pearson VUE website. They're all
Sure.
available to
Okay,
anyone, regardless of membership status.
sure. Thank you. So can we go to the new exam, the ACC exam?
Yes.
Right. So So one of the questions that people have is, while they're going for their ACC, should they go for the ACC exam or should they go for the credentialing exam? Now,
So
there's an understanding that if they went for a credentialing exam, then within a year, they can probably upgrade to PCC without reappearing for the exam. Is that understanding correct?
that's correct. So we do have a 1 year, if someone takes the ICF credentialing exam and upgrades their credential within 1 year of their passing the ICF credentialing exam, they do not have to resit for the exam. So someone who does intend to upgrade from ACC to PCC within a year's time may want to consider taking the ICF credentialing exam. ACC candidates who are authorized for the exam can make a choice between the ACC exam and the ICF credentialing exam through March 14th. After March 14th, all ACC candidates will be required to take the ACC exam. All PCC and MCC candidates will be required to take the ICF credentialing exam. So there is a window of time for ACC candidates to make that choice.
Okay, great. So another question is that is there a way to know what is the cutoff passing marks for both, like the 60 questions in this and 70 credentialing exam?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I didn't catch all of that.
The question is, what is the cutoff mark, pass marks, like what is the minimum that one should score?
Oh, great. Okay, so the passing standard for all of our exams is the same. We have a scaled scoring system for all of our exams with a scale of 200 to 600. The passing standard for all of our exams is 460. So candidates must score 460 on that 200 to 600 scale to pass an exam.
That's both for both the exams, for the new ACC exam as well
Correct.
as the credential.
Correct.
Okay, great. Now, so somebody asked that for the credentialing exam, there are 10 questions out of 78 which are not marked. Is that something like that? What is that?
Yes. So for all of our exams, we include primarily scored items, which contribute to the candidate's score. We also include what we call pilot items or field test items. These are new items that are not scored. We're testing to see if they're performing correctly because they may be included as scored items in future exams. Every year we refresh our exam items so that there are new items on the exam. This allows us to test items without it impacting a candidate's score.
Okay. Great.
So on both exams, there are 10 unscored field test items, and the rest are scored items that contribute to the candidate's score.
Okay, great. And then my next question is, so the resources for practice you have already shared. And so what's the difference between AC? So if somebody wants to go for PCC or MCC, is the exam same or is the exam different or is there a different way to score?
The exam is the same for PCC and MCC. The exam is the very same. And there's not a difference in the passing standard between PCC and MCC. We looked at that possibility at one point in time, but we didn't see a significant difference in performance between PCC and MCC candidates during that pilot testing phase. So the passing standard is the same.
Okay. Now, if someone has done PCC and given the exam once, when they go to MCC, do they have to go for the exam again?
At this point in time, yes, unless they upgrade within 1 year of passing the ICF credentialing exam.
But that's only till March 14th, right?
That will stay true for those who are going from PCC to MCC beyond March 14th. Yeah, so anyone who has already passed the ICF credentialing exam if they upgrade their credential, even if that's PCC to MCC within 1 year of passing the exam, they wouldn't have to sit for the exam again, because it would be, as I mentioned a second ago, we refresh items on the exam every year. So if one is taking it within a year, it's going to be the very same exam that they took before. So no new items on that exam. So it's not required if they have passed the exam within 1 year's time.
Okay. But that will be very unlikely, because for MCC upgradation, you need 2,000 more hours of coaching practice.
Right.
So that is anyways going to be very unlikely. Yeah. So, yeah, sure. And, okay. Then I just want to, can you move this next, go a bit to the next slide above? Yeah. Yeah. No, sorry. Go down, please. No, down. Further down. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Yeah, sure. So this is clear. Coaches, I'm also trying to explain to you as with these slides, because we went through them quickly. If you have any questions on this, you can ask. So basically for ACC exam, which is going to be the norm going forward after March. So this is going to be the exam for ACC candidates. They cannot apply for credentialing exam. They won't have a choice after March 25. So Carrie, one of the questions is that what if somebody went for ACC right now and did a credentialing exam and could not finish upgrade to PCC within a year? Then that person has to give the exam again, right?
That's correct.
Okay, got it. Okay, so someone has asked the question, what's the difference between ACC and the credentialing exam? I would say that this was explained. We'll share with you the recording. You can watch. The ACC exam is more on testing your knowledge, and PCC is more on testing your judgments as to how you will be coaching aligned in that situation. Okay. So, all right, coaches, I think I'm mostly done with my questions. If anyone has any question you want to ask directly, unmute and speak up, raise a hand.
So Indrajit, I have not done the ACC. I've just done the training bit with you, and I'm directly, as we had discussed, directly going for the PCC level. So which exam am I supposed to give?
You'll have to give credentialing exam.
Straight away?
Yeah.
Without the ACC exam?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Indrajit, sorry, I could not type. I'm connected to a phone. So the question is, I think it was asked earlier, but the connotation is a bit different, which is that in terms of a difference between the knowledge exam and the judgment exam, let's say I am able to clear the knowledge exam and I have the requisite number of hours, then I'm certified as ACC. Is that the correct understanding?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Maruti, answering your question, credentialing, Indrani, I'm coming to you after this. So, when you get a certificate from us as Grow More, that is your certification. When you get an ICF credential, that's credentialing, right? So, credentialing means certification, coaching practice, mentoring, and clearing the exam.
So, even an ACC would mean credential.
Yeah. So, if you're ACC, you're a credential coach. If you're a PCC, you're a credential coach. Okay. Okay. Indrani, go ahead. You're on mute. We cannot hear you, Indrani.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Okay. So my question is that there are 8 sample questions on the ICF website. Is there a possibility of getting more sample questions?
Great question, Indrani. We hope to provide some more sample items for the exams. It takes a little bit because we validate our exam, even our sample exam items, before we publish them. We want to make sure that they are an accurate representation of what candidates should expect on the exam. But we do hope in the future to be able to add more to that collection of sample exam items. So please watch out for that.
So, Carrie, do you have any timelines right now? I'm speaking a little faster.
We do not currently have a timeline. So much of our focus has been publishing the new ACC exam, which has been quite an undertaking. But with that publication, that will give us a little bit more time to work on sample exam items. So hopefully next year we'll have more.
Okay, we'll take 2 more questions, Kumar and Verena. So if you can be quick, both of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it might be repetitive, but I
No
thought
worries.
I'll
Go
clarify.
ahead. Go ahead.
I
Yeah.
want to appear for ACC only.
Yes.
I need to appear only for one exam, which is the ACC exam. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome, Verena.
Yeah, hi. When I have finished or done my ACC exam, will we be guided as to how to use the credential to sort of market ourselves? What is
Great
the official?
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do provide some. So upon earning a credential, we send a number of resources and information to credential holders about their award, including a digital badge, which you've probably seen on LinkedIn from other credential holders who post. We include information and guidance on how you can use those marks to market yourself in the marketplace. Yeah, and we have a whole guide actually on just how to use your digital badge to market yourself. So that is included with the award.
And just to add to
Great
that, Verena, if you are a member, they have a lot of resources on how to position, market yourself. So there's more information available on that. You can check it out. Pradeep, go ahead, please. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. If Carrie can go to that slide of PCC credential exam, then the first the sample question.
Sure. Carrie, would you kindly?
This slide, is this the one that you were hoping for?
No, there's a question for the credentialing exam. There's an example you've brought in, right? Sample question.
Oh, the sample item. Okay, yes.
Best and the worst.
This slide?
Oh, we can't. By the way, we can't see the slides changing.
We can't see the slides changing.
We are not seeing anything changing. Yeah.
Let me try again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So we were only seeing your slides. Maybe you need to show us the screen, which shows the show, the presentation show. Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah. Here again, on the sample question, which is there on the website, best action has four options. The worst action also has 4 options. Is that the way we come in the exam also, or we only get every question only 4 options? From there, we'll have to pick up the best and the worst.
That's correct. Of the 4 options presented, you're challenged to identify the best of those 4 options and the worst of those 4 options.
So I got confused because on the sample questions which is given on the website, the best action has got 4 options, and separately worst action also has got 4 options. So I was thinking that you'll get 8 options.
Yeah. It's the same on the website. It's the same 4 options that are listed for under the best and the worst. So it's the same 4 options, and you'll just identify the best and the worst of those 4 options. Great question.
Okay, great. So, coaches, I'm mindful of the time. We're over by 2 minutes. Lester, you have a question. Lalit, you and Yogesh, if you can type in the chat box, let's see if we can address it. Lester, go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a question on someone having to appear for PCC directly, not going for ACC. Is that an option?
It is an option, and we can discuss that later. I can talk to you about that. I can share with you more information on that.
Sure.
Lalit?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you, Andar. So my question is simple. On the ICF website, I have seen the sample question for ICF Credential Exam.
Right.
So can we get an access to sample questions for new ACC exam?
It is.
So that
it is there now.
It is there.
It will be. Yeah. Carrie, would it be there, right?
Yes, those are listed as well on the ACC exam page. And when I send over the slide deck, I'll be sure to include a link to that ACC exam page so you can access that very easily.